Hello everyone, my name is Muhammad Abdul Hafiz, and today I'm going to show you how can we implement an email authentication system using the same Laravel and Nuxt JavaScript. The previous tutorial, we have talked about how can you implement an auth system, and we did. We have, as you can see, let me demonstrate this pretty quick. We have now a login page and a register page as well. So as you can see, everything now is working super fine. But what about email authentication? We have to make a way that when a user actually registers a new account, we have to authenticate his email by Gmail, maybe, or an email. So yeah, let's get started. I will start with the views, in our case Nuxt JavaScript. Why? Because it's much more easier. You can see the front end, you can actually build a little bit of logic. So first of all, let me add a new page, and I will call it verify email dot view. This simple page will have, let's get back here. This page will have the text that tells the user that you should verify your account, open Gmail, or resend it again. So let us now see how can we do this pretty quick. Let me go to this page. So verify email. We have now default, which is great. You know what? We can actually create a new layout instead of default. Let's just call it verify email, maybe dot view. We will have the same as the default one. We'll stick with this one. Let's give it a define page meta. Okay, there's something wrong. Define page meta. We can then type that layout is going to be verify email. Let's now refresh. So yeah, everything now works just fine. So let's just add the text. It could be like h1 class text 3x large. You must verify your email. Cool. Let me put text center as well. Text slash center. Cool. Then we will put a resend at open Gmail. So now let's just put a button. Class button slash primary. Can we make it text center as well? Okay, it's never worked like this. Maybe MX auto. Okay. Probably I will just put it in class flex. Cool. And then just give it justify content center. Not justify content, I mean, sorry, items center. Cool. Now we can just put maybe m top 5 here. Cool. Let's put also m top here, maybe 10. Okay, that's fine. Now we can just type open Gmail. I think super easy, right? I think we can make it an A, which is an anchor tag, then put a ref to the gmail.com. And now simply when we click on this, it will open Gmail. So pretty cool, right? Okay. should be logged in, by the way. That's okay. Let's go to verify email. Cool. Now we should also put a paragraph and say, if you didn't receive, or maybe just ask, didn't receive the email, and then we will just do spam with resend. And this resend could be an A. Just put it, and let's just put class underline maybe. Cool. Over maybe text slash blue. Let's go with this color. Yeah, that's great. Let's just give a pointer maybe. Cursor pointer. Do we have this in? Yeah, good. So now, as you can see, this works. It could be spam, because I don't want to stick with. Then we can just give it, let's give style for this paragraph. Empty 10 as well, a lot, 5. Then we move this and just type justify center. Maybe men screen. I do forget a lot of things in Tailwind. Or something like this. Maybe edge screen. No, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna stick with the normal thing. So yeah, so maybe 20. Cool. So this open Gmails, and then we have this resend. Let's give it an @click, and I'll resend for now. Let's just put the function simply right here, const handle resend. That's great. You know what? Now let's get back to the index.view right here, and let's just log in. What about this? So we can go here maybe and put our new email and password and log in. That's great. Now we have a thing that we should add, because I want to show you something. So the index, we can call the user using is authenticated and also the user. Let's just add the user dot value maybe. So as you can see, we have like an ID, a name, and email verified at. That's actually a pretty important thing. So we will make our decisions on middleware and pages on Nuxt by using this email verified at. So let me go and create a middleware, so pretty fast. You will not have this directory, you just create it by yourself, okay? And then we will have two middlewares. First one called verified.javascript, and this one will just check if the user is verified or not. All right. So this one will use it on the pages that we want to be verified. So for example, the index, in our case, this one, we want to make it a verified middleware, so it will not be accessed by those users who are not verified. So let me now just go to Nuxt middleware, because I always forget how to define one. So yeah, let me just copy this one. Cool. So okay, never mind. So now we will just stick with this one. Let's call const user from use auth sanctum auth, and we will now check if this user has let's specific value. Before doing anything, use sanctum auth returns a reference, okay, or a ref, a reactive component. So user.value dot email underscore verified at. Hopefully this is it. I don't think this is it, so I'll just get back to index and put the user to check. Email verified at. Okay, it's true. So now we will check if the email verified at is null. That means it's nothing. That means it's not verified. You have to go to verify slash email. Dash email. Before we complete, you should understand that verification will be with the login. So now I will log in the user, he will be logged in, but I will add an extra layer checking if he is verified or not. So cool. Return to navigate. And then we will do another middleware and I will call it unverified. So these are the pages that I don't care about verification in it. We'll put the same one, or just remove the exclamation mark. So that's great. So let's test by going to the index and put an array maybe. And we will put now the verified. This page, it just accessed, will be accessed by those who are verified. So now see, verified valid middleware. Okay. Verified. The name was, okay, see? So now even if I went to the our login page, it will not work. Not the login page, our index page. Even though I'm logged in, it just will not work. So now the same thing with the verify email. The verify email, I'm going to give two middlewares, not just one. The first middleware will be auth. Why? Maybe you'll ask me why do you want to check if the user is authenticated or not? Because this verification again is an extra layer above or maybe after the verification. So I will add the sanctum auth. I don't know if it's auth sanctum or sanctum auth. I always forget. It's sanctum auth. Okay, cool. And then unverified, because this page is going to be just accessed by those who are unverified. So let's now check. Cool. If I went to the login page, it will not work. That's great. So now let's log out and try to access verify email. It will not work. Cool. So now let's just log in again. See? That's pretty cool so far. There's also one problem. I don't think there's any problem now, right? I think everything now is cool. I just want to check something real quick. We have a problem, I guess, right here. Let me just refresh this page and go like this. No, I don't have a problem. I was just checking if these pages will, if you can see there's a problem when I just log in, I see a flash of data. I don't know from where. Probably something in caching maybe, because there's nothing here. Oh yeah, in the login. Okay, cool. So now just test again. Cool. So now what I'm trying to tell you, so we just finished the middleware, the authentication of the front end. Now we have to handle the logic of giving tokens, not tokens, giving verification for emails. So yeah, let's start with our Laravel now. Okay, hello again. So now we will talk about how can we implement the verification now on the backend. Yes, I'm using ChatGPT. Let's not see that, right? Cool. So to do this, simply we have the first thing we have to do is to go to the user model and implement something called must verify email. So you will not have this, so we'll just put implements must verify email. That's the first step. Now the second step is to create our controllers. Okay, so I will just create PHP artisan make controller. I will just call it email verification controller. And then we will have this controller in our HTTPs, as you can see. I also have the code snippet already because I have tested and now I'm going to show you because again I don't want to make my video big. So here, not this one. Yeah, so we will just copy this and show you what these functions are in a pretty easy way. So now this email verification controller has two main functions, okay? The first one called resend and the second one called verify. Let's start with the resend. The resend, simply it will just resend the email verification, especially when you click on this link. Let's see. So the first of all, I'm going to check for the request user. Maybe you'll ask me, how did we get the request user? Because again, it's email verification is after the login. So basically the request user will return the user. So I will just go, and because we also added the must verify email, now we can use this function which is has verified email. So this will return a boolean if it has already been verified or not. If yes, it will send a response saying already verified in the resend, which is here. Now, if it's not, okay, so there's no verification, we will just send an email verification notification, and then that's it. So the resend is it's pretty straightforward function. I will check if the user is verified. If it's verified, then I will just return JSON error saying that it's already verified. If not, I'm going to send a new email verification notification. That's cool. Now let's get to the second function, which is verify. Verify is also easier. Verify, by the way, it's not an API the same way like this one. So this one I'm going to connect it to an API, so I can connect it to Nuxt. This one is a get request. Why? Because I want to go to this specific ID, this specific hash. Cool. Because if you have ever actually verified your account on Gmail, you will find out that there's a button. You click on the button, then it will let you go to another website, and then from that website it will redirect you back to that first website, right? So this is actually why we use get right here. So what does this function do? Again, it will take an ID and a hash. These are query parameters, okay? From the not query, it's like a params from the URL, okay? I will take the user, and then I will do a hash equals function. That means I'm going to compare the two hashes. The hash that we'll have from the link above, and also the email. So the email with this SHA-1 encryption, it should match, like the hash, it should match. If they did match, actually, that means it's already verified. It's not like already, it's going to be verified. So here I'm just asking if it's not hashed equaled, that means that invalid verification link. That means that link maybe is not for you, maybe it's expired, or anything else. And then I'm going to ask the same one right here. It's like me asking, maybe this user is already verified. So are you verified? If yes, it will just email already verified, return a response. If not, that means those two conditions are not met, then at the end I will just verify this email and send an event which is verified, and at the end I will just redirect to my front end URL, which is my this page, like the index page. So now, after we saw the email verification controller, we have two things to config. We have to config how can we send emails, and also how can we redirect the user to the specific URL of the front end. To do this in a very easy way, let's go to the .env file. I'm going to use a resend API key for simply implementing the email. Okay, so now let's start. The first thing we're going to do now is to do the app front end URL. Okay, so to be able to access the config app.frontend URL, I should do it in this way, the same way exactly, app_frontend URL. And I will just put my frontend localhost. Cool, that's cool. And then we will go to the resend.com. I will log in and create a new API key. And I will call this API key, for example, auth-system. I will copy this API key and use it in a way. Let me now show you, because actually they do have documentation. How can we implement? Yeah, in the docs, we can go to Laravel, and we can actually see that if you want to use it as a mailer, because this is how are we going to use it. Then we'll, first of all, we have to install this. Okay, I will install it. Cool. And then we should put a resend API key, which I think I already have. Yes, I'll just put my new API key. Cool. And then I should check that there's a mail driver in the mailers. I think we do have one. I mean, I think Laravel do it by itself. Config mailers. Yes, we do have a resend right here. Cool. Let's get back to .env and do these at the end. So mail from address should be onboarding at resend.dev, and this just gives you the access to send emails to yourself, to the same email that is logged in on the resend. That's why it's a test. The name, just stick with maybe auth-system, okay? Not my name, auth-system. And for the mailer, we go to the resend. So that's cool. Now simply we have everything configured. And the last thing now we should do is to add the routes to start actually dealing. So now we should have two routes, one for verification, which I told you it's a GET, and one for APIs, and one for the resend. So let's start with the resend. I also have obtained, oh my god, how many nodes I do have? Millions? I already have, yeah, see? So this is the resend function that I created. Simply it will go to the email verification controller and hit resend. But we should have a middleware auth sanctum on it. Why? Because, as I said again, I will keep saying it, email verification is just above or like after login. So that's why this specific request should be just for those who can, you know, use the who actually have accounts. Then in the get, in the web actually it's a get request, as I told, it's not an API, so I'm just going to get into it. I'm going to use this specific route. It's going to have an email verify ID hash. We have actually explained what is ID and what is hash. ID is the user ID, hash is the email hash. And then we have the controller, the function, which we already made with verify, and then we have the middleware signed. Signed is like auth-sanctum, but without using cookies or tokens, just to check with Git and Laravel if the user is actually signed. And at the end we have a name for this route, which is called verification.verify. This is actually pretty important. I will tell you now in a second why this is pretty important. Because the Laravel middleware or notifies actually uses not the route full path, it will call the name. So now everything will be triggered automatically. Okay, so now we just have to do one last thing before we test, which is to config the auth controller functions, which is the register function only. Okay, so now I already have implemented this, I forgot to remove it. So basically the register that we already did one before, we just create a new account, right? We just create a new account, and that's all of it, without doing any sessions, because in the front end we will call the login again after the register. But now on register, when I create a new account, I want to make a new event which is registered user. That means that they will create tokens, not a token, they will create an API route for this specific user with the hash and the ID. So we can actually verify it. So cool. I think now everything is fine. It's cool. I think we can now start dealing. I think I forgot something. No, okay, everything is great so far. So basically now, based on everything we did, we should now, when we click on login, when we register a new account, let me just delete my account right here because, as I told you, it should be the same email. We should simply have our email being sent, our email verification. Let's test, hopefully. So what will happen after I hit register? It will register, right, the user, create it, put a new register, that means it will create a new hashing, etc. And then from the front end, I will call login. So login, basically it will login me, give me the tokens, the session tokens, the cookies, etc. And then the middleware from the verified on the index page will send me back to the verify email. So now let's test. Let's go to the inspect network. So now let's log in, register, okay. Cool. Now we made a login, everything works. Cool. See? Now we should, when we go to our Gmail, find a new verify email. Okay, we have a new one. Where is it? Yes, auth-system, the last one, because we call it auth-system. We can now just verify our email address. Cool. See, now we are in, there's something wrong. We verified our email. But it sends me back here. I think there's a problem. Let's check if there's a problem. This is the home page. I think there's a problem with the middlewares. Oh yeah, because I forgot to, in the verified pages, as I told you, if it's not verified, it will let us go to the verify email. If it is verified, it should push me back to the index page. So now, hopefully when we hit like this, no, there's a problem. There is a problem. Cool. Okay guys, I'm back. The problem was with the verified. I forgot to put I. So it's a typo. Hopefully now it will work. And yeah, it works. So the problem was with the typo with the I. Okay, the same problem here. So now simply when we hit the email verification, it will head us back to the home page because we already have our email authenticated, verified. So yeah, that's cool. We finished now this, but now we have a problem, or not a problem, something I'm going to add to make you guys, it's like a bonus, you know? So we want to change this stupid look. What about this, yeah? I think this stupid look is pretty bad. That one, not this one. So to create a new look, simply we need to do three things. I think so, yeah. First of all, we have to create a new resource, a new file, a new folder. In the views, like in the views, I'm just gonna create a new folder and call it emails, maybe. And then new file, we're just gonna call it email verify .blade.php. And again, in my notes, I have obtained a new, like a template for, I think this one, no, yeah, this one, yeah. So this is a Blade template that basically I'm going to be using on our Blade.php, and this will be a new template for the emails. Okay, cool. We also have to config the user, not the user, we have to create actually a notification instead of Laravel's one. PHP artisan make notification. We're just gonna call it verify email. We have now a new notification, verify email. You know what, even the Blade, let me just rename it to verify email. Let's stick with verify. So verify email here. I also have another functions for this. Again, I already made these functions. I'm just going to use them again. I will just have to name this to verify email, not custom verify email. So cool. What does this do? Basically, it have two functions, verification URL. So this verification URL will just do the URL for the users when we actually hit it by using register in the auth controller, like this one. What is it? Yeah, registered. So to do this, the first function will do this. So I'm calling the route that I'm going to use for the get, right? Which we called it in the web.php in the routes. Cool. See? Okay, that's cool. And then we will add expiration date, 60 minutes, maybe could be maybe 10 minutes, as you wish. And then we will add the hashing, which is the CHA one that we talked about, and that's all of it. Now the second function, it will just do us the mailing. So when we send the mail, I'm going to use a view, so the subject will be verify your email address. The view, in our case, will not be emails.custom verify email. It's gonna dot verify. Yeah, I forgot to do this. Cool. So now, basically this notification will, on sending the resend, it will basically create a route and then send those to the Blade that we just did. The last thing, we have to actually override the default notification and the users. So we go to the model, user.php, and guess what? I have it right here. So yep. So this function, it will override our new notification when sending, which is verify email. And that's it. Now everything should be working fine. Cool. How can we, I wanna, okay, I'm just gonna exit. So let's test again on our localhost. Let's log out. Let's remove the, not the token, the users. You will tell me why do you remove the users each time? Simply because this resend give us just to send emails to ourselves, okay? So now let's register with Muhammad 939, my email, password, and then password again. Now on login, we should have no errors. Cool. You must verify your email. Let's open Gmail. Do we have a new email? We do have new email. Okay. Yeah. With a new plate system that I just copied. So we just verify email address. And voila, we just verified our email. Now we cannot go to any other page like verify. Cool, now we can just log out. We can log in again. We're already verified. Let's see. Cool. Before ending everything up, I want to show you something I added. I forgot to record it, and now I'm going to walk you through it. So basically, I have made a page, and this page called verify/result in Nuxt. And this page, simply it will take a status from the router, as you can see. And based on this status, it will show different messages. So now let me show you what I did. So I can now verify result, okay. And then I will just put a query, and this query could be expired. See, so now verification link has expired. If I put success, it will show me your email was successfully verified. Very simple, right? And then I just created a middleware for this page called verify result. And this just check if there is any status. If there's no status, it will just get me back to my home page or login, etc. So I hope now you guys understand what I did. So I just created a page that will take a route, a query route, and just based on it will show something. And then I created a middleware to check if there is actually a status query. So why did I do this? How can we implement this in the backend? So basically, if we go back to our email verification code on the verify function, previously I was just push the return value to what? To not verify result, to the home page, okay? And that was okay, but I think I just now push it based on errors, okay? So now if I have an error that the hash doesn't equal, I will put it to the expired. If it's already verified, I'm going to push this. If it's not, I'm going to push success. Okay, now we can actually test this out simply by just going, put my email, my credentials, and now we should actually get to the authenticated page that we created in the, see? Okay, now if I wanna go to the Gmail and see the email that I just got, we can now see that when I click on it, if it is success, if it's verified, it will not push me back to the home page as previously. It will push me to this verify result, just for like, it's an extra step, you know? Then we can go back to the home page and everything now works fine. So yeah, that's all of it. Thanks for watching. If you want to see the full code, you can find it down in the description and the GitHub repo. So yeah, thanks.